Over the years, Farzana has become a familiar figure at the Al-Abad Orthopedic Centre in Kabul. She works as head of the prosthetics department and has come a long way since she first passed through the hospital doors as a patient.
One day I was going to the laundry near my aunt's house. Our area had been cleared of mines, so we were confident there wasn't any more danger. I was shocked when the mine exploded. I could see one of my legs was missing. The other was wounded, as was my hand. I thought I'd be taken to hospital and that somehow they'd operate and I'd go back home, even though I could see my leg had gone. At the hospital they amputated me, and that was the hardest bit. I thought I would never be able to live and work normally, both in society and within my family. I had no hope.
But her life took an unexpected turn when at 14 the centre provided her with a prosthetic leg. She was later hired by the same centre to do laundry. In a fortunate twist that would change her life, Farzana was given the opportunity to enrol on a prosthesis technician training course. 6 years later, she made her way up the ladder to become head of the department. She's also a firm favourite with patients.
I try to use kindness and smile a lot to reassure them. I tell them not to be depressed and to try to accept reality. I also tell them a prosthetic limb is not like a piece of wood, that with time it becomes part of your body. So they should stop worrying, as it never helps.
Run by the International Committee of the Red Cross, the centre mainly employs people who were disabled by the war. Although this has no doubt helped Farzana to overcome her situation, she's found no such support with her relatives. Even as the breadwinner in a family of 8, her father has never accepted her disability. Putting family first and believing no one would want a disabled wife, she's never married and devotes herself to her work.
As long as I can work here, my future will be brighter. But only God knows what future lies ahead of us. I just hope that better days are coming for myself, my family, my country, and for the people of Afghanistan.
We now head to the Bamyan province, some 200 kilometers west of Kabul. As well as being one of the country's most peaceful regions, it's also one of the poorest. Here we meet midwife Nafiza Naziri, who works with mobile medical teams funded by an Afghan NGO. She travels the province to provide healthcare to women in some of the region's most remote villages.
Do you know Zahara from my village?
Yes.
Well, she's pregnant.
Really? Zahara's pregnant? That's great.
I'll go to the village and tell her you're here. Nobody knows you're here yet. We'll have to tell all the women the doctor's here, so they can come and see you.
For these women, Nafisa's visits are essential. Without them, they would have to travel hours to find the nearest medical centre. Because of the village's isolation, maternal mortality is high. In fact, Afghanistan is second only to Sierra Leone for the highest percentage of deaths among pregnant women and new mothers. Just like the rest of Afghanistan, the women and children here have paid the price for war. And Nafiza, who grew up and studied in Kabul, has had her own fair share of tragedy.
It was a very difficult and dangerous situation. My family and I were always migrating from one zone to the next. My brother died during the war. He was just 28.
But despite the odds, Nafiza finished her studies with the support of her family. Now she feels it's her duty to help other women in Afghanistan.
Women are still vulnerable here, especially in the regions where war is still going on. They have no access to education and they can't work. In those areas, you're afraid to leave your front door in case there's a suicide attack.
Although Nafisa says she no longer lives in fear in Bamyan, she admits she finds it hard to believe Afghanistan as a whole will ever fully be at peace.
I think there are a lot of countries which benefit from the conflict in Afghanistan, and those countries perpetuate the war. They actually create, support and train various groups who are fighting against each other on our territory. Those countries take advantage of our situation. On the other hand, the countries who want the war to end in Afghanistan haven't succeeded in doing so. That's why I think the war will continue.
In the last part of our Afghan edition of Women and War, we meet Farzana, who witnesses the ravages of war on a daily basis.